Hello, in this video I will present to you what's new in EDAP Tools version 7.2. First of all, zero transform in set reg point to transform point can now preserve stroke thickness. Let me show you what exactly this feature does. Now, if we scale this square and zero transform it by pressing the shortcut of Shift T, we are presented with this dialog which asks us whether to compensate stroke thickness or not. By default, this is how it used to be before. When we reset, it's 206%. When we reset it to 100% without preserving the stroke thickness, this is the result. Now, if I scale it down and do the same thing again without compensation, this is the result, because the stroke stays as it is. This will be equal to going inside the symbol and scaling the shape. See, the stroke always stays the same, so in proportion to the actual shape it changes. Now zero transform can preserve stroke thickness, and I will demonstrate it this time with compensate stroke thickness checked. This is it. It's 100% and the stroke thickness was compensated. If I scale down and go compensate again, there we go. If we go inside and check the stroke thickness, this is 17. Let's go out, scale it up, zero transform with compensation, and check again, 37. So this is how it works. And now I will show you an actual real life example. So let's look at these illustrations. Are scaled uniformly like this. Okay, so let's zero transform this one without preserving the stroke thickness. See, the outlines got thinner. I'll undo it. And this time zero transform with compensation. There you go. Now it's 100%, but nothing in the illustration changed. And I'll do the same for this one as well. And this one even has an animation. Let us just look at it. So it has an animation, and we will need to go into several passes because the first one will scale what's inside, and inside here we have multiple frames. This is set up as a button. So I'll need to zero transform a second time with compensation, once here and once here. There we go. So this is now at 100% and this is now at 100%. And if we publish, we will see that all the strokes have been compensated for the different scaling. These three illustrations are now larger, but still at 100% without the strokes being changed. The second important new feature is building arcs out of 3 positions of the symbols. So instead of having this tween, all these facial features go along straight lines, we can now use cleanup, build arcs when we have exactly 3 keyframes selected, and execute cleanup. We will be presented with this dialog, and we can choose between Bezier curve and circular arc. Let's just go OK. this animation is converted to frame by frame animation, and you see that the elements now move along a Bezier arc. Let me do this again here. Of course, like with all cleaned up frames, we can actually mark them with labels so that we can tell which are our original keyframes and which are the automatically generated keys. There we go. Animate struggles when keyframes are labeled, but if we go outside, now we can compare. This is a duplicate head with just straight twins, and this one is with the arcs. So if I play them back, you will see that this one looks nicer because all movement happens along arcs. Now, of course, we can polish this by changing the mouth positions in a specific frame and so on, but this is not the goal of this presentation. I'd rather just show you how you can use the build arcs command. In this case, we have just two symbols which are not rigged in any way, and let me create a couple of keyframes. I will rotate this one from here, and I will create a key in the middle and rotate like that. Now we can build arcs by just selecting these two and going Alt Q, and we can choose between Bezier and circular. In this case, I'll choose circular and show you the result. We can see it like this. Basically, the elements are moved along a circular path. Now let me get rid of these. Okay, so let's have just 3 positions. Let us look at the animation like that. We can, if we want, we can give these twins some easing. So let's say 50 here and minus 50 here. What must be understood is that we need always to have 3 keys, and only if we have 3 keyframes selected, that's when the build arcs command will be triggered. So Alt plus Q or clean up from the commands menu will pop the dialog, and now we can check the 2 options. So Bezier curve will give a smoother curve like that, basically a curve going through the 3 keyframes. Now let me undo and choose the other one, circular arc. It will be part of a circle. In some cases, circular would work better, and in other cases, Bezier would be more suitable. It's a matter of just aesthetic preference. So this is it. With the straight twins, the animation is not nearly as organic as it is when it goes along an arc. And finally, there is a new feature in Create Motion Guide. We will be presented with a choice to create circular guides. Now let us trigger the motion guide command with the button in EDAP commands. The standard One would be linear, so you end up with a zigzag line which you can later modify like that. This might actually be a very good and easy way to create a zigzag line. If you distribute dots in a specific pattern and then create a motion guide based on these dots, you will end up having a zigzag line, which otherwise you will need to manually draw. But anyway, let's look at the other options. Another option is the Bezier curve, which goes like this. And the new option is circular arc, which would go like this. So circular arcs between each 3 keyframes. It's very important to understand that you need at least 3 keyframes to be able to trigger the option of circular arcs. The number of selected keyframes has to be 3 or any other odd number larger than 3. So if we select 4 keyframes like that and trigger create motion guide, we'll only be given these 2 options because we need 3 points to define a circular arc. If we only select like this, we will still be able to create a Bezier curve, but not a circular arc. Had we selected like this, 7 keyframes, we can have a path based on circular arcs. And of course, if we decide to change this configuration, we could grab these 2 and move them up like that, and then we will end up with this kind of path. This is it. Enjoy using EDAP Tools version 7.2.